Well, Gaffer, 54 minutes into Saturday's contest and you were 2-0 down. After you brought on Adam Smith and then, following the end of the 90, 2-2, what emotions were you going through by full time?
It was another one of those where I always thought we could win the game. Even at half time, my team talked to the players. Was about just keep doing what we're doing. We should have been 2 up, to be honest with you, in the first 10 minutes. Paul kind of had a great chance where he just shaved the post, to be honest with you, and we all jumped up because we thought that was in the back of the net. And then Louis Moult had a great chance as well, very very early on, and then you get those 2 goals, and then it just gives us that belief. And what was important really when I talk about belief is the belief that when we go down we can still come back and we can still fight for a game. I spoke to on the post-match interview. I did say that I'll scrap for every point, and they may be Barrow, but Barrow have been a difficult team to break down. I know they're in a dogfight as well. Teams that are in the dogfight, they can put up a test for you. They did sit deep behind the ball. I did tell our players to be patient about it and to try and work them out of their positions. They did the homework on Ashley Kane, to be honest with you. The boy at the back policed him really well, but then we said to Ashley, then you have to move the ball off, and then you have to try and come inside a few times because obviously they do know he's a danger. So I always felt that we could be back in the game because we created so many chances. And then Adam Murray was very very unlucky where he seen the keeper off his line and he tried to clip him and lob him. Came off the crossbar. We were up in the air thinking that's gone in the back of the net, and then obviously the rebound, Louis Briscoe's anticipated the knockdown, got into the area and then tried to curl it in as opposed to just like placing it in. So I thought, here we go, it's going to be one of those games again. But like I say, we've shown that strength of determination and that willingness to try and win games. And we did that against Newport, 3-0 down in the first half. To come back 3 goals in the same half was very, very rare, to be fair. But what I will say, we've got that never say die attitude. I spoke to my assistant Paul. I said, the biggest thing now is to prevent being beat. That's our thing now. Not make it difficult to beat us. So I'm happy with that because we haven't lost a game, I don't think, since Wrexham, and we know how that game went. We should have won the game. So my next thing now is to turn these draws into wins and to try and start with us going up a goal in front, because when we do that we tend to go on and we tend to win games. But we were just very very unlucky. Again, I refer to the Paul Connor one in the first few minutes. It should have been a goal, and I think that changed the whole dynamic of the game. But again, I have to pat my players on the back and say well done, because of their never say die attitude, and I thought we could have come away winners in the end.
I think in the past few games we have been the first to concede. How do you try and eradicate that?
Well, if I look at the first goal that they scored, I think we could have challenged the ball a bit further up the field, although it was a tremendous strike by the Barrow player. But young Groffey pulled off a marvellous save, at full stretch to play it onto the post, and it came back off the post, it bounced to one of their players, and it could have gone anywhere, really. The second goal, I can't say anything about it. It took a deflection off Paul Connor because the boy Groff would have been comfortable for him, coming straight through everybody, straight into him. He would have caught that no problems. When it takes a deflection, it's very very difficult. And as it did the other week here at Field Mill when Adam Murray got in the way of a shot and he's deflected into the net, and then Gary Silk did the same. He dived, trying to do a diving header, comes off his head into the back of the net. So we've not been lucky on those, and I'm just hope that we can change that. And hopefully we get a few of those for us. But it's encouraging that this never say die attitude, and then slowly but surely we'll work on the other bits and pieces, and we will get it right.
What about Adam Smith then, the hero and saviour from Saturday? Came on, of course, and bagged a brace in 30 minutes to salvage us a point. Most would expect his name to be on the team sheet for Saturday. Absolutely, but
I don't think Louis Briscoe or Ashley Kane have done a great deal wrong, to be honest with you. The reason why I changed it, I pushed Louis back over onto the right, and then obviously Adam came on for Ashley, who's been absolutely outstanding for us these last few games. But he wasn't getting much joy against that fullback on the day, and that happens in games. But Louis sort of caused me another problem. But yeah, we always knew that we were waiting to get Adam onto the field of play sometime during the game, and had it been 0-0 we probably would have put him on anyway, because he needs to be featuring in our side. And but again, he's got to play for his position. I'm very happy for him that he came on and he scored his brace, and they were very, very good goals. Again, we always tend to create real good open play which finishes in good goals, opposed to some of the goals that have been scored against us. So I'm very pleased for the boy. It's a great way to come back and to show everybody that Adam Smith's back, because when he's in that type of form, he's frightening for any defender.
Let's continue to talk about our players, and post-match on Saturday after the Barrow game, you spoke to the written press about Luke Medley, and in no uncertain terms explained why he has not been in your plans recently. Has Luke played his last game for Mansfield Town?
No, not at all. What I will say is that the boy Luke Medley has an abundance of talent, but unfortunately, there are other sides to football that he has to adhere to. Discipline. I'm not saying he's ill-disciplined. What I am saying is that we have an ethos at the football club where people want to be here. They want to work for each other on the pitch, off the pitch, in training. To work your socks off. I don't just look at the team on a Friday and think, that's the team I'll go with on the Saturday. I look at what the boys do in the week, and if people are sloppy during the week and they don't come up to our standards, and they won't play. And I don't care who you are, whether you're our top player, our most senior player, to our junior player. If you do not perform during the week in training, which is your bread and butter, and you should be happy and joyful to come in and be paid to play the game that you love to play, then you won't feature with me. So
what have you said to him today in this morning's training session?
I didn't have to say a great deal to him. I think he's seen, obviously, he's heard what I've said. His response was good this morning. But it's no good being intermittent. That has to be every day. You don't come into training and think, I'll turn it on today. Well, tomorrow I can't be bothered. You have to do it day in, day out. And if you don't do it day in, day out, then you're not doing the club any justice. You're not doing yourself any justice, and that'll only lead to one way. If you come out of this league and no one will take you, then you slip down the ladder. Now the boy's got an abundance of talent. As I've already said, if we can just harvest that and do the other things that he sees his fellow pros around him doing and not upsetting them, Luke Medley could be a massive player for Mansfield Town and go further up the field.
So could he still be in your future plans, or will you look to transfer him to another club?
If people came in and like any player at this football club, if teams are interested in them and they offer the right money, then I'd have to seriously contemplate that. But no, Luke is still my player. Or our player, I should say. He'll be with us all during the week. If he performs the right way, he could be involved on Saturday. But he's got to show to his fellow pros as well the professionalism that they show, because that's really important. Your peers are very, very important. You don't have to be loved off the field of play, but during your time when you come in training, you've got to put the work in. If you're not willing to put the work in, you will not reap your rewards.
Keegan Parker on Friday evening was transferred to Fleetwood Town on loan until the end of the season, with a view to a permanent move at the end of the campaign. Just for the record, I know you spoke about it after Barrow on Saturday, but just for the record on video to our fans, just explain the reasons for that transfer.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say to all the fans, I didn't want to lose Keegan Parker. Keegan Parker expressed a wish to go some 2 months ago, and I talked him into staying a couple of times. But it was unfortunate that Keegan, through compassionate reasons, really, he wanted to be nearer home. Fleetwood is nearer home. Keegan's, he's well paid at our football club. I'm not saying it's just about finance, because it's not. But obviously they're a team that were willing to take over his contract until the end of the season, because at the end of the season Keegan was going to walk. He told me that. He was honest with me, and I've been honest with him, and now I'm being honest with the supporters. I didn't want Keegan Parker to go. Even to the 11th hour, I didn't want him to go. But he expressed a wish. He wasn't happy coming into work, in training. Although he never. He always worked. He always worked well and worked hard, and that's important. But his mind wasn't on it. And sometimes I think when I spoke to him about when he came on and he could have won the game for us against Newport, and he just said things like that have been. He's got other things and other issues that he needs to sort out. So I think it's good business. Now I know people might look at me and say, well, you've sent him to a team that's that we might be competing against in the playoffs. If we get to the playoffs, and like I say, I'm going to scrap and fight for every point, and my players will do the same to hopefully get into the playoffs. But one thing I have put in, there is a clause in his contract that if he does and we do make the playoffs and we meet each other, he won't be able to play against us. But I've given my reasons for it, and I just hope the fans understand that Keegan, I didn't want him to leave the football club, but it was the best thing all round.